You know what? You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Money gone, fuck friends. I need a homie that know me when all these motherfucking cops be on me. I got problems, ain't nobody calling back. Now what the fuck is happening with my ball and cat? Remember me, I'm your homie that was down the brawl, sipping Hennessy, hanging with the clowns and all. We used to do is drink, brew, screw, and come and knew we had bitches by the dozens. Oh, we fucking cousins, you can throw your middle finger if you feel me low. A nigga just got paid and we still was broke. It took time, but finally the cash was mine. All the rewards of a hustler, stuck in the ground. Look around, and all I see is snakes and fakes, just like scavengers, waiting to take a hustler's pace. And when you stuck, where the fuck is all your friends? They straight busted, can't be trusted. Fuck y'all.
I told you, right? I told you, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me.
Fuck all y'all.
Right, you stupid fuck. Look at you now. Look at you now.
Fuck all y'all.
I told you, right? I told you, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me.
Fuck all y'all.
Right, you stupid fuck. Look at you now. Look at you now.
I'm sipping Tangeray and juicing what's the use, cause I'm a hopeless thug. Ain't no love, reminiscing on how close we were way back in the day, before they put the crack in the wake. Hey, how much money can you stack in the deck? It's getting rough, collect calls from my niggas and guts. I recollect we used to ball, now just living's enough. I stand tall in the winter, summer, spring, and fall. Love for life, sprawled all across the wall and all. About my dollars, make me wanna holler. Drop an album, sell a million, give a fuck about tomorrow. I know it's getting crazy after dark, these moms keep on huffing and puffing. Ain't no fear in my heart. What's going on in the ghetto? Still struggling, strive. I still roll with the heater, smoking chocolate top. In '94, I'll be going solo. Too many problems of my own, so I'm rolling dolo. Fuck all y'all.
I told you, right? I told you, don't fuck with me.
That's
Don't
right.
fuck with me.
Fuck all y'all.
Right, you stupid fuck. Look at you now. Look at you now.
Fuck all y'all.
I told you, right? I told you, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me.
Fuck all y'all.
Right, you stupid fuck. Look at you now. Look at you now.
I went from rags to riches, quick to socializing with the baddest bitches. Went from a bucket to a rag with switches. I'm seeing death around the corner. I'm pumping Doria, doing 90 cause I wanna. I'm getting high like I said it was some chocolate time. Is this some Indonesia? Watch me fry, and even though I know the guts behind.
What is going on, people? We don't have the intro title made yet, so we're just kind of doing it on the fly. This is Fight Guys episode 1. This is kind of something we've been talking about here for a minute, me and Doug. Obviously, you guys obviously know Dan is pretty much there, the lieutenant, looking overlooking, observing, and making sure everything's going down properly. He's always going to be around too. I mean, people, great to have all you guys here. Doug, good to be doing this with you finally, and us kind of getting this done and kind of getting the ball rolling on this, because I know this is a big thing that we were talking about, so good to be here. It's good to be here. Especially
Fight Guys.
Fight Guys! You know what I mean, Doug? Fight Guys. A little bit of Fight Guys action.
I'm lagging already, but welcome.
It's all good.
I don't know about you, Fight Guys.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. We'll take over. I'll take over while you're lagging. Don't worry. Just you come in when your kind of thing goes back. It's kind of a normal thing that happens on this bullshit. Don't worry about it. But I mean, of course, Fight Guys is kind of something that we're kind of doing to normally, rather than have our banter section at the end and talk at the end of the week about everything on a bad day, on a Friday, when the main focus is the card that's coming out, not necessarily the news and all this other stuff that's going on in the MMA world. This is kind of our perfect time to do that on the Tuesday, going over everything, kind of reviewing it with you guys, giving our opinions on certain things, stuff like, big fights coming up, fights that have been booked, fights that have maybe been canceled. There's always some drama that's going on in the UFC, unfortunately. So we're going to tell you about that. I mean, it's kind of just something that we're going to do. We're definitely going to smooth it out in the future. It's going to be a lot smoother. There's going to be segments. There's going to be stuff like that. But for now, take it for what it is. We're going to roll through it kind of tonight, go through some of the topics that we have. Obviously, kind of the first one being at hand, being this, what we kind of all witnessed together, as most of you guys know.
Sorry, Pat. I think before we go off the bat,
yeah,
I want to say I was vibing with that song. It was a nice little song for the intro, but I think we should just appreciate your masterpiece a little bit. It's like
yeah.
You don't just walk by the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right, Dan. You're absolutely right. Here, let me just do this real quick. I didn't actually expect to
Oh wait, sorry, because you can't
No,
take us all out, right?
All right, don't worry about it. Here, watch. It's right here. You just gotta upload it. So you just gotta have to upload it as an overlay as well.
Oh yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, it's good. No, it was very good. But what's the song matchup? It's like what's the specific? I can't get the specific movie in my head though. It's pretty good though. The quotes.
What the
was it?
Scarface. Scarface at the beginning.
Oh, Scarface. Okay.
Scarface at the beginning.
Oh, there we go.
And then there might have been another one in there to start it off. But yeah, I mean, like, Doug looking like fucking.
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Oh man,
Joe Rogan like Hannibal Lecter
nightmare fuel.
Oh shit!
I don't know if it's the fact that his skin tone is like pink or mine is Simpson yellow, but it just doesn't work together whatsoever.
Oh yeah, it'd pretty much be impossible to have the same skin tone as Joe Rogan.
I was trying to match it.
Or also on TRT.
I was trying to match it, and I ended up just leaving it because it looks so. And then that's kind of when I got into the philosophy of it looks so good when it's fucked up and weird looking. I was like, that's when it looks the best. I was like, that's when people look at it and they go, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean everyone's gonna be edited that sloppy, but I mean, they're all kind of gonna be. I kind of want to take the. You know, the kind of the thing that people do where they chop the faces and put them on, especially from the streams. I wish the fucking streams that, actually, I think this is what I paid for. I think this is $7.
What you should try and find though is maybe some just like other MMA related photos. And
that's what I'm gonna do eventually. Yeah, but like I would love to have. It might be a matter of me and Doug taking a bunch of fucking headshots on our iPhones because I'm not angles and quality, because the quality that you get off StreamYard is terrible.
But I do also think though, like there's something funny in the bad quality, because like I don't know, just like even I think yours looks great with just like your like low quality face just on there. I think it honestly looks a little bit better.
Oh, you think? Okay, well,
let's get rolling.
It's probably just the coloring. Yeah,
that's
we
the
had
beauty of it.
Two checks Bumpson taking the W. We all had a good bit of cash on that. That was my nice pick of the week.
And I picked Brunson too. Doug was on me like I was really back and forth the whole week, but I really was kept telling Doug.
I've been on the Brunson train for a long time.
He was on it the whole week, very confident about coming into the week. As soon as I heard the
fight announcement, I was on Brunson.
Yeah.
And even though Dan was questioning me the whole time.
I mean, yeah, it was like one of those cards where it was like
it's a disappointing one for me myself, obviously. Yeah.
What do you think of the card as a whole, though? What do you think of the card as a whole? I think it's a good card.
UFC just doesn't really miss anymore. Realistically, the talent pool we have, the ability to make these good fights. Maybe we have a couple duds here and there. Maybe like weekend previously we get some no contests, but. It's the sport we get, but we're getting great fights. Can't complain.
Absolutely. It's the fight quality that we're getting is very good, regardless of the names that you have. You know what I mean? They're setting up fights that are really good, and now just in the last couple of weeks, we've had announcements out the yin yang and stuff like that, but really to kind of take away from the main event in that fight, I mean. We all watched it. We watched it together. If you guys don't know, we always cover these fights live on all these channels. You guys got to come check us out. We'll be doing, obviously, UFC 260. We will be doing that, covering that live as well, as per normal. And, of course, the breakdown will be coming at the exact same time, 9 o'clock on Thursday, for the breakdown of UFC 260. We will be going through it a little bit, but as far as kind of what we saw...
Shout out to John, Mr. 100.
Mr. 100.
Welcome back, brother. Lost 180 on Holland. Yeah, I feel that, but didn't lose quite as much. But 809 on the week with the bookie. Well done, sir. This guy's fleecing.
That's what I like. That's what I like.
I love it.
Shout out
Mr. 100. Shout out to Mr. 100. That's for sure. Oh, I love that. I wish we could.
Yeah, I wish there's like. Is there a thing in Twitch where you can get like nickname people or something? Twitch. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know about that, but
John, feel free to change your YouTube.
Yeah, to just Mr. 100.
Mr. 100. Yeah, I mean, obviously though, what did you guys think was the best fight on the card? What did you guys like?
Not other than okay. Tough. You go ahead. You go first, Serge.
Ugh. Might have been the Song Kanon fight for me. It might have been that one. It might have been the Song Kanon Max Payne Griffin fight for me.
Max Griffin with the good quick knockout.
It was
good.
It might have been that.
Great.
It might have been
Right.
that one. It might have been that one, but it's very close. We had a lot of good scraps. I mean, you could have even made the argument, of course, in my opinion, you could say it's kind of biased, me picking the earlier fight, right? Like the early one, I believe it was second round knockout. Remember, I picked the second round knockout for
Was that the first
what's his
fight?
name? First fight of the night, yeah.
Bruno Silva.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Could have
You
been.
and, you and your first fight.
It was against
Yeah.
JP Bays.
Yeah, could have been. You could have made an argument
just
for
ride the
those.
surge in first fights.
Yeah, you could have made an
Honestly-
argument for those.
So even though obviously people, if you were watching the breakdowns, I was all over
good.
Leonardo Santos. He was my guy. It was a hell of a way to lose. Even though in hindsight, even I guess if you went the distance, I would have been even more pissed because he would have got fucked on the scorecards.
Of course.
But that was a great fight, and the way that ended with a, I think that's kind of
That
I
was
think
a
that's kind of been
fantastic
overlooked
fight.
a lot this week. I don't really know why. The guy finished somebody who hasn't lost in 10 years with a second left. Are you fucking kidding me? Insanity. Like what an obviously
And the
I
way
had
it
no money on
happened out
Dawson there,
cold
but-
was fantastic.
Oh, it was insane.
Oh,
We're just
man.
seeing all these crazy different positions. Like people, there's power and their ability to finish from all these different positions. That's why the sport's as crazy it is and why as great as it is. Shout out LJ in the chat.
Yeah, shout out LJ. LJ, I'm dropping you a link.
LJ,
brother.
Jay Michaels, Jack Attack MMA, what's going on? Everybody in the chat. Appreciate you
Everybody
guys
hit
coming
that
out
like
because
button.
we're all fight guys here. We're all fight
Exactly.
guys
We're
here.
all fight guys.
Just wanna
LJ, you
everybody
can
to
check
be
your
some
link spot
fight
if you're
guys.
available. I know it's late for you right now, but you know the links in the links in the normal spot. So feel free to check there. The link is there for you. But yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
thought this last
so-
week. Yeah, you go.
Sorry. So we have the two main event fighters is the two everybody's talking about right now. Where do they go from here? We can start with the winner, Derek Brunson. He moved
Well,
up to rank number
yeah.
4 in the world. He called out Paulo Costa. Do you think that's too much, or does he get that big a jump after a win like that?
Oh, honestly, I mean, I think we look at it as we give him the jump, we give him Paulo Costa, we give him what he's asked for. You can kind of look down the line and see everything else is kind of lined up, placed together beautifully. It works itself out as almost kind of like what some people were calling a mini tournament kind of style, which I kind of like the idea of it, because it's almost already going to shape out like that when you look at the matchups that are already being made and already have been set and booked. I mean, you see a guy in Robert Whittaker in that fight against Paulo Costa. That fight's now fallen out. You see Kelvin Gastelum coming in to take that replacement. Paulo Costa does not have a dance partner. You now see Derek Brunson for 4-win streak. You know what I mean? Absolutely. It's absolutely Derek Brunson. It's all Derek Brunson for that fight. And I mean, it's going to be a great fight to watch because it's really going to let us know is Paulo Costa ready to wrestle a little bit with Derek Brunson? Is he? Because, I mean, at the same time, didn't we just see Derek Brunson kind of, play the game of I've got to avoid, getting hit and avoid getting touched up from range and getting hit with the big heavy shots. I know Paulo Costa doesn't fight as much from range and stuff like that, and he might go at a little bit of a different journey to take on Derek Brunson, but
I was just gonna
I'm
absolutely
totally
assault him.
yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see kind of the pace at what Derek Brunson's going to take it at. Is he going to be able to down Paulo Costa, mat return him, keep him there, all that kind of stuff? You know what I mean? It's going to be a very 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 interesting kind of bout that I'm interested in seeing. I'm okay with that. I'm good with the move up. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. Dan?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that. Well, I think honestly, it's like not even like a leap at this point with him. If he's number 4, there's really only 2 fights that make sense. It's either Paulo Costa or Jared Cannonier, and Paulo Costa needs a dance partner.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on a 4-fight win streak ranked number 4, you got to be looking up in the rankings only, and Paulo Costa's coming off a
Yeah.
loss. It's
Yeah,
a
I
good
think-
fight. It
yeah.
makes sense for both of them. It's a good test if Brunson really wants to be elite. I got to be honest, I see Costa knocking him out in that fight. But it's a good step back for Costa to reassure himself as a contender, and it's a good move up for Brunson to try and get into that upper echelon of middleweights again.
Absolutely.
yeah, no, absolutely agree. Like, and I think Brunson.
And
It's
as
not like
for-
Brunson took any damage. Like, 'cause realistically, if Costa can fight, in by late May, June.
What's going on, Jack? Here, sorry about that. Just getting to the comments for a second. wrong week to go with astrology. That's pretty funny. Jack, this is a Rode NT Mini, by the way, if you're wondering. I think it works pretty well. If you have any other questions, we'll talk about it later, that's for sure. I mean, 5 out of 10 stars were not aligned. I don't know what that means, but I guess that means 5 out. You got made 5 out of 10. Exactly. You know what I mean? That's what happens, man. That's what happens sometimes. I think I probably went either close to that or just either maybe even probably a little close to that. So, yikes.
It's a pretty wild week, as always.
Wild
It's
week.
been a crazy start to the year, honestly, people. It's like,
Oh, I love it. I love it. We're having it. Crazy start to the year, but we ended the year good, and we kind of started the year pretty hot too. So it's kind of one of those things where we take it as peaks and valleys, and we just can't hit too low on the valleys.
I got another good live bet with Montserrat by decision after that first round at plus 200. I was saying, hey guys, it's at plus 200.
Awesome. If you guys were watching, we were talking about after that first KO TKO loss sustained by the husband of the pair, JP Buys. Because we were literally calling out before. It's like, if he loses, especially in a bad way, like she could be shaken. But like, I don't know if like shaken otherwise. I don't know if she could have done shit to that like scarf hold judo.
Did you see early in the week? She mentioned it. She talked about it in an interview. She said all she's got is that. I think she called it the stupid scarf hold or something of hers.
She's not going to get me on it or something?
Yeah.
I love that. That's
played it. She was like, oh, it's a stupid scarf hold.
Do your thing, my man.
It whipped her all fight.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous fight. We love.
You won't hit me with that high kick, Jones.
We love taking Montserrat. We were all over. We were, like I said, I was kind of talking about it early before the stream, before we even went live. It was kind of a joke. I was like, people are saying that, if he loses that first fight and she's in the corner and he's supposed to be in her corner, if it's vicious, there could be some problems as far as her winning her fight mentally, but like obviously that's mentally, like Dan was saying, I don't think she was going anywhere. She just was consistently held in that position and taken down from that beautiful scarf hold throw.
The aftermath is disappointing too, if you want to know.
Oh yeah, that was wild. The two women getting rowdy. You know what I mean? A little bit.
I'll follow you home, bitch.
You saw the spit though, eh, Doug? You saw the little video I sent you, right?
But I don't know. Did we actually see? Did we actually see liquid hit face up? Because it could be like a hook. No, you know what I mean? Like a disrespectful, like get out of my face kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't actually spit.
It's not easy to spit with a mouth guard in either. You got to take that into account.
That is true.
Not that easy.
That is true.
I think she might have tried to spit on her.
Oh, bro,
maybe. Who knows? Who's to say? It's obviously it's a crazy time, but it was a crazy time and a bit of a wild fight.
I loved it. It got me all juiced up.
We got to get back onto Big Mouth. We got to get back.
We're on track. We're talking about the
main event.
Beautiful little fight, co-main we were talking about. But yeah, I mean, we'll get back to Big Mouth. I mean, the whole opinion now that's going around and kind of this whole consensus is he kind of fucked off. You know what I mean? He kind of, Carrie, I feel the same way after losing to a wrestler. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, basically what ended up happening, she got, the whole Kevin Holland fight. People are now pissed off at him. Initially, from our reaction, we were never mad. I mean, I was never mad at Kevin. Obviously, being Doug being kind of on the front of the train. Dan saying I love over. Yeah, we were loving it. We were loving it, right? But at the same time, were you mad at Kevin Holland after? Were you like, hey, Kevin Holland, you really fucked the bet on that one? Like really, like as a general fan, I don't mean like a betting because I know you bet with Brunson, but like in general, were you like, hey man, Kevin Holland, what the fuck was that? Like were you thinking that in your head? Like I just want to ask you that. Were you?
Sorry, I lagged out. Was that at me?
Yeah, that was at you, but Dan can answer it too.
Okay.
Dan can totally take it too. Dan, you can take it too.
I mean, I was kind of confused. He didn't seem like he was there to win. He even said afterwards, like, he was there to have fun. Like, he was just there to do his thing. It didn't seem like he put that much effort into winning the fight. It seemed like he was there to try and fight. But when he was on his back, it seemed like he just wanted to get to the next round. He's like, okay, I guess I'll try next time I get a chance, and was content to sit in that guard and do nothing but talk. Yep. And then have his little moment with Khabib live streaming off to the side. I wasn't impressed with Holland this fight. I mean, the talking stuff is cool when you're in a competitive fight and stuff, but when you're losing, you have to fight back, and he wasn't fighting back. He was just talking. You have to fight. So.
Okay. But okay. But my only counter to that is, and I know we've seen him. We've seen him, and kind of the only kind of kink in the armor here is the last fight, right? Obviously the Jacare fight, right? Like, if we had seen Jacare obviously go over and take him down at will and keep him down there, and him not get that knockout, which was beautiful on his end. I'm not taking anything away from him. We might be speaking the same story as to his wrestling's lacking a little bit. Some skills on the ground for him against other guys with heavy top pressure, have a way to crack them, similar to the Brandon Allen fight. You know what I mean? Similar to some other fights we've seen, like similar to the Darren Stewart fight, like taken down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's very close in some of these fights where we see him get taken down and kind of held down, and we do see that the tide will sway right against him, and we'll see the guys that he's fighting will start to either come back and win that fight or put on a pretty good fight against him and either force a fight that's going to be close on the judges, or he's going to have to get that knockout. We've seen guys in Brandon Allen who are able to take him down and keep him down there. So the question is, it's like, has this problem always been a problem that's kind of never been addressed and never been, sorted with properly because he's able to get himself out of some of these other positions? You know what I mean? With his athleticism, his ability to punch hard on the ground, do damage, do things like that. With those abilities, is that kind of, leading him to lack away from a wrestling kind of game, from what he's supposed to be doing? I mean, it's possible. You know what I mean? Hopefully this just motivates him to get back harder, like he was saying post-fight, and get back after it. Was I mad at him for when he did it? No, because it was kind of something we've seen, like I was just saying. It's something we've seen a little bit from the guy. It's like, we definitely know it's there, right? And like, that's kind of the whole thing we worried about in the Brunson fight as far as picking Brunson goes. If Kevin Holland can touch him with the right shot, he can get him down. We can drop him, right? But it wasn't really necessarily a worriment of, if Kevin Holland stuffs a couple takedowns, because I don't know. I wasn't necessarily expecting that at all. That would have been more surprising to me rather than him getting taken down and held down. But that's just my opinion. Dan?
Well, yeah, no, I definitely, you guys are expressed a lot of good points. I think as far as the talking shit thing, I think it's I kind of, I don't know if either you got a chance to watch him on Helwani. Like, I don't, like, I think a lot of people, it's kind of unfair for people to be like for him, like, why is he talking shit? And all this, like, it's what he does. Mm-hmm. Like, when have we not seen this guy talk shit, right? Like, it's part of his personality. It's why people love him. It's why I'm a big fan of the guy.
Absolutely.
Did he get exposed and a big flaw in his armor get exposed? Yeah. But does that happen for a lot of guys, especially at 20 years of age, when they fight a really competitive guy like Derek Brunson? Sure. But this guy has absolutely got the ability to go from this fight, follow up on what he's saying he's going to do, which is go train DC. And fuck, if you've got a hell of a base to work with as far as grappling, it's Trevor Luter, black belt, and I don't know, I threw it in the notes. He did bring it up also. Landed the first takedown ever on Derek Brunson ever recorded in the UFC. So
yeah, that's true.
That was gone, but he'll be talking shit about that probably for a while.
Oh man, that's hang his hat.
But honestly, yeah, like fight was actually probably, in hindsight, if it wasn't for like, obviously it was pretty shit. Like Brunson, I think he could have done a bit more in terms of making a statement. Sure, it's a statement saying, "Oh, I can just neutralize a guy," but like, has he elevated himself as far as a name to saying, "Yeah, we want to see this guy fight Paulo Costa"? No. Did he have the chance to? I think yes. Like, would he have to take more risks in that fight to maybe try and get the finish? Sure, but like, I mean, when you don't outstrike a guy and you have that much control, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like he could have done more with the opportunity to maybe make the statement. So like, I see. I don't know. I see what you mean as far as like, he shouldn't be talking shit and people saying stuff like that. But I don't agree with like people like, I don't know, like I don't agree with LJ saying like look like Lewis McCall, like mental breakdown stuff like Dana White saying sometimes people just get beat and they get exposed. Like, yeah, he's still gonna do what he's gonna do, but hell yeah, he's got the ability to build on it. And I think I
want to make clear. I think him talking's great. I need you to fight back if you're going to talk. You can't just sit in full guard and talk.
Sometimes
to
you
him.
can't.
Then you're just having a conversation. You're not fighting and talking.
But like, what if like
It
literally in
just-
that case?
I
there-
didn't
but Doug,
see
like,
enough.
there's nothing he could do when you have a guy like Derek Brunson who is the bigger guy, who's the better wrestler, and he's literally just going to go chest on you, and he's not even going to try and ground and pound. Your options are like when he's the better grappler, you can't do jack shit.
Of course.
So like
Agreed.
when you're saying like you got to do more shit, like he's doing what he's always doing, but he lost. I think it's people like he's done this before. Like he's talking shit against Diego Santos when his ass was getting
Appreciate
beat. Pretty sure he's talking shit to Brendan Allen when he was getting beat. Like so, I think it's kind of like a recency bias thing again. Being saying why are you talking shit when you're losing? Because he's one of these guys. He's always talking shit when he's competing, and he's a competitor, and that's just what he does. Were we ever going to see Nate Diaz stop talking shit? No. Are we going to ever see him talking shit? No, because it's just people who they are, and I can't see what's next. I think he does maybe need to. I don't know about coming back and fighting as fast as he would like to. I'd like to see him develop in the wrestling a little bit more. Maybe we see him later this year, maybe in like the fall.
Agreed.
But I don't think it's like it's not one of those things where it's going to be like this guy can't do this. Like it's a very but he is also like in the interview he wasn't as I think it was kind of reactionary when he at first said it in the interview to Megan O'Leary post fight. I think he's like he still knows that he can compete with these guys at 185, and he doesn't
100%.
necessarily like. He's like, I'll go down and cut that weight when like it's worth it for me to cut that weight for myself, like because he can't compete.
He
with
said
these
he was
guys.
going to get with a nutritionist, though, which was the interesting comment. He didn't talk about cutting the weight.
Yeah.
It was more about
'cause he walks
reforming
around at,
his
like 195.
build.
Yeah.
He walks
yeah.
around at 195. Yeah, so that's
He's not like that's the whole thing though. It's like how much more in shape can a guy, like him get? Like he's got that kind of frame. Like of course you could say, oh, let's lay off the Buc-ee's, you know what I mean? And I looked up that Buc-ee's, the gas station that he's shouting out in Texas. It's the fucking biggest gas station it's the biggest gas station in the world. It looks amazing. It looks fucking amazing. Did I watch a 30-minute video on a tour of a guy walking through the fucking Buc-ee's? Of course I did. God damn it. Because Kevin Holland said
Rogan or something, or was it just the from one of his interviews from Fight
no,
Week?
he shouted it out at the before the fight at one of the press at the media day or whatever. He was shouting out Buc-ee's and they were like, "You should get sponsored." He's like, "I should." It looks great, but
and I think it's like we don't look. Not all of these guys in the MMA are completely perfect, polished athletes who are completely focused on like.
Of course.
He's still got a lot of developing to do as an athlete and as a fighter.
Oh yeah,
and at 28. He's not going to be one of these guys. He's not Khabib that's going to be fucking retiring at 30-0. He's going to have these losses. He's going to have these awesome wins, but we're always going to be tuning in, and we're always going to be fucking watching because he's one of those fighters. His stock he'll never go down post fight.
Oh, for sure. I would probably say so. I mean, he's one of these guys that consistently impresses me. I mean, we'll get off the whole Kevin Holland train for a bit. I mean, unless there's anything else we want to say, I think that where does Kevin Holland go from here? As far as we answer that question,
San Jose.
Yeah,
DC,
go. Yeah, there you go.
Well, speaking of working with a wrestler to fix your wrestling, Francis Ngannou has a new face in his corner this weekend.
Oh,
what a transition!
Maru Usman.
Holy shit!
Tell me.
That was like a slip counter right there. Holy shit! That slip.
I was beautiful. That's what he was beautiful.
But what do you guys think about that? Usman cornering Francis, is that a move that you guys think is a legit Francis trying to get his wrestling better? Is it just him trying to look like it? Can Usman actually help him?
That's kind of an interesting one.
Of course he can.
Dan, you go ahead 1st on that. Because I think that ties into us kind of, we may as well talk a little bit about, the whole Francis thing as well. Then once we get into that, we're cracking into the whole Francis Stipe right away. We'll just talk about it a little bit, of course, tease it. Dan, you want to go ahead first? What do you think about that?
Well, it's not going to hurt. I tell you that. It's like having somebody with that ability to sit in potential maybe fence grappling positions, shouting out these Francis is a guy. He's got the raw power. Maybe something. He's obviously doesn't have the experience to have the fluid muscle movement in these grappling exchanges. It's just impossible. It's just impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody obviously. It's I guess you say Stipe is more fluid in his boxing, but obviously way stronger, way more fluid in the grappling. And I think having a guy like that being able to shout out his positional things, and obviously he's been training with him in the lead up.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely can't hurt. MMA is always a thing. You always benefit from getting these different looks and these different guys shouting out these things and having a champion like that. And I think it's always like, yeah, they had that mentality with like all these champions born in Africa. It's awesome. It's like Kamaru, Ngannou, and Israel Adesanya. Obviously, he was going to be like, oh, we got all 4. Nice try though. Yeah, but yeah, I think it'll be a big help.
Yeah, it's Doug. What I mean, I know you're asking. Well, here I'll answer it. I mean, do I think it's gonna help? Yeah. How long has he been there? Is something I would love to know. Like, has he been there for the entire camp, wrestling with him the entire camp and helping him out the entire camp? I mean, I don't know, but I like the recent addition. Like Dan said, you always get different looks, especially different guys that can help you out. Do I think that it's going to play an impact? No. I mean, Doug, what do you think about it? Because I mean, we'll touch on the whole Stipe thing in a second. We may as well.
I mean, I like the move. You look at how Stipe won the last fight. It was a very clinch-heavy approach, pushing him on the fence, wearing him down, Usman style. So there's no one better to learn how to counter that than Kamaru Usman, because Usman's the best guy at doing that in the UFC. Pound for pound, he's better at doing that than Stipe. Technique-wise, he would be. So he would know what to do technique-wise. The question now is, can Francis do that technique after a round of swinging his fist that hard, and will his gas tank hold up long enough for him to get out of these positions, to be able to explode out of these positions, or will it even matter? Is he just going to knock him out right away?
It's a great question. I mean, it goes into the whole, who do you have in this fight? MMA Gangster, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Who I'm taking in this fight, I'm taking Stipe. I mean, it took Stipe the first time. I really, really think he's underappreciated in the UFC for all the work that he's done, everything that he's done, the kind of career he's had.
Bar none, most underappreciated fighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
In maybe in like the UFC sporting world, he's like, yeah, or not, not the UFC sport, the MMA for sure, maybe even sports, maybe all.
Yes,
sports.
absolutely,
MMA.
absolutely. No, you could even say sports though. Dan's got a good point at that. Like there's
guy's
a lot
of fucking fighter, heavyweight champion of the world, for God's sakes. Like, it's insane. Maybe he's not the most articulate motherfucker in the world, but hey, come on.
Yeah, maybe he's a little bit quiet. Maybe he's not that articulate. But man, I mean, he is. Yeah, exactly. He's one of the baddest men on the planet, and rightly so. He's one of the guys who's really set a standard for what it's like to be the heavyweight champion and what you should look to be if you want to come into the UFC. You want to be a champion at any type of level, even a champion in life, someone who's successful in life, or someone who just knows and does the right things. It's a guy like Stipe Miocic, and you look at him and everything he's done, and what he's done and all that kind of stuff. I mean, as far as the other side of the coin goes, Francis Ngannou has had a storybook rise. I mean, a guy who's been from having nothing. I mean, it's not even able to be put into words. Like Dan says, there'll be a movie about it in a couple years, and he's probably right. There will be. I mean, it's something that you wouldn't even be able to imagine and really put into words fully. If you do want to get the full story, I recommend the Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, I think that's what pretty much we're letting him go and articulate that kind of whole thing for himself.
Yeah, it is. It's a phenomenal, unbelievable story that, I mean, it shows he has no fear in that octagon. He's got nothing to fear in there. He's seen way worse. This cage fighting's a joke to him compared to what he's seen. So
it also shows why he's got so much belief in himself. Because going through that, pretty much saying from being in the position where he was in Cameroon, have the options available to him, saying that he's going to do the things he's going to do and actually do them. And I think even more. I think he's even surpassed his own. I don't think the UFC champion was his actual fucking marker, but I think it's beyond.
It tells me too the rematch mentality that a lot of guys struggle with, of remembering the guy beating the first time, might not sit in his head, because he's proven he'll go at a task as many times as it takes. He's proven that in much more dire situations. So I don't think a rematch here scares him.
We also have to look at the fact that there are things to look at from that last fight where it was in no shape or form a perfect camp or fight for Francis Ngannou. the shit with obviously going to France. What was it, like a 2 weeks out from the fight? I don't know if you guys watched the countdown, but that's pretty much their whole. Yeah. That was their whole narrative. They're obviously trying to paint with Francis is obviously crazy. Not a good. Obviously all these things, but the narrative. It's not about saying narrative. It doesn't mean there isn't some truth to it. It's a crazy thing to do, to travel that way and like have these interviews first thing in the morning. Like, yeah, you're giving yourself the least opportunity to take on the toughest challenge of your life. And is he going to be a lot more prepared this time? Yeah, you'll bet your ass he is. Is he going to have a better game plan? You bet your ass he is. Is it going to be enough for Stipe? No, it won't.
Yeah, probably right. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I don't think. I think there's definitely going to be a better game plan. He's going to look further improved. Does he have the ability to? Does Stipe have the ability to catch Ngannou? I mean, that's a good question.
Of course he does. He caught him in the other fight.
I think he does. Does he have the ability to stop him this time? Yeah, late. I think 4 or 5.
It'd be absolute farce for us to say otherwise.
I think he'll look to finish him on the ground this time, though. I think there'll be more of a statement behind this one. If he does get him in one of those positions, maybe he really looks to get him out of there. I know Ngannou's a tough son of a bitch too, and they'll be looking to keep him in there as long as possible. But even still,
well, the thing that scared us is we're going to see some shit, and we've been seeing it more and more. Is these clinch positions, and we saw it in the Leonardo Santos fight, where you don't need to have these perfect angles and positions to take somebody out when you got that kind of power, and like if you can hammer fist Stipe like in some sort of clinch position, like that's why I said earlier before broadcast. It's one of these weekends where I'm scared. It's Tuesday night. I'm scared. It's gonna be crazy. Like
betting on Stipe is terrifying this weekend.
But we're gonna do it.
Go wrong in a second.
We're gonna do it.
It's a nail biter. Terrifying. Always,
that's
man.
25 minutes of heart pounding.
Oh yeah, you're going in there.
I'd say more so the first
10.
10?
I mean, you got to
not even. I think it's going to be 5. I think it's going to be 5 again.
There was that random moment in the third round last fight though, where he staggered him a bit.
True.
That power, like it.
Yeah, but the first 5, like I remember last time, like I think I wish I'll be wearing like I'll wear my Apple Watch this time to get like my peak heart rate. Probably be like 200.
Yeah, it's gonna be bumping. It's gonna be bumping. Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of people do when they play video games. They'll throw it up there too to have their heart rate going. But I mean,
Jay Blues is asking 70% of the people I've heard asked about they says Francis has really improved. He's sort of pretty much saying how has Francis improved? Yeah, you're right. We have only seen obviously the 15 minutes against Derek Lewis was like what the fuck, worst heavyweight fight of all time. But yeah, and since then we've had a cumulative little over. What's the time?
A minute and a half. A minute and a half. Yeah, minute 47. Minute 47, something like that.
Yeah, like, but against some pretty okay guys who he's absolutely just ran at and obliterated.
I mean, it was like Cain
between
Velasquez,
that time,
JDS.
Yeah, the Cain
guys who are the Cain Velasquez fight doesn't even count really.
Man, it counts, but it's just fucked.
Barely.
He clipped him. He clipped him.
I mean, yeah, he clipped him, but like
what happened there? I said it was his knee. I remember me yelling at the fucking bar.
Because it was
his knee gave out. His knee gave out.
Such a glancing blow that just absolutely clipped his chin. So it was. I remember going. Oh, okay, I don't even want to talk about that.
No, we're not talking about that.
Anyways, we know as the camp has said. Power. But
sorry, I was just gonna say, Dougie, as the camp has said, and like Eric Nixick has said. What has the goal always been? Stipe. This fight.
Yeah.
They've always been training the grappling. It's not like they're like. It's not like everybody like. Okay, we got to make sure we got to get these hands working. No, they've been working on the grappling. You like. It's the number one thing. I don't know how long Usman's been there, but like it's been the number one goal. Just because he's coming in, it's not mean like this is a recent thing. Oh, maybe we got to start working on the wrestling. This is the number one thing because if you can keep it on the feet.
It gives him a better chance for sure. It gives him a better chance. Yeah, it gives him a better chance to be dangerous. And kind of the point that you also saw in like the embedded and stuff like that. Francis saying that just even since that first fight, it's been like the same time as his MMA career up to the first.
Yeah, like how many years? What's the actual total time span?
It's been 3 years.
Holy.
I know, crazy. No,
that's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say. It's
been 3 years. It's been 3 years.
And he was fighting professionally in MMA for 3 years previous, right?
Yeah.
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 Fuck. I'm scared.
So yeah, it's a super scary ass. Like that's just
can't
even
tell me
one
a
way,
guy-
right? Like
I'm
Jay,
saying,
like
if you
that's
give-
just one of the ways you can scare people because that's like one of the things, right? Like you got to look at that.
Because I'm saying Kevin Holland, give him 3 years. Oh yeah, he could be he could be definitely a good enough MMA wrestler.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But being
Absolutely.
good enough MMA wrestler is not the same as being good enough to beat Stipe. That's what we got to keep saying. He's not good enough to beat Stipe.
no, I don't think he is. I mean, we'll play. You know, obviously someone's got to play devil's advocate because I know we're all picking Stipe, and I know that's.
I know,
you
but I'm literally just getting scared talking about it.
Of course, it's going to be one of the scariest fights to watch. I love watching fights like that.
I just hope
the
the Betway boost Ngannou round 1 or 2. One of those 2 rounds.
Well, I heard something about like the props being like it's weird that like, the props for going over 1 round or like the value's doesn't make sense. I don't know. Never mind. I'll have to look into that. Keep going.
For Thursday, of course. Thursday. People.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that on
Yeah,
the
I'll
bet
talk about that
breakdown on
Thursday.
both channels on Thursday, same time, 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
But for now, we got some other things to get into.
Let's work on
let's
some
get off
futures.
this. I
What's
get my
going on
heart
with some of
rate-
these
heart rate
futures?
down to
Yeah,
some
my
sort of
heart rate.
stable
My
base.
heart
I
speed,
want
yeah.
to. I want to talk about Justin Gaethje right now in the lightweight division a little bit. Transition to some of the smaller weight classes.
Ooh,
Okay,
yes.
fair.
You look at the lightweight top 10. It's hard to find a matchup for Justin Gaethje. The only one that really sticks out is RDA. But RDA, maybe they're looking at him versus Islam now that Tony's booked. So what do you do with Justin Gaethje?
No, that's
He's already
it right
been
there.
on ice since October.
Give it to him. He needs a fight. Just do it. I don't know. But if he'll accept it though, I don't know if he like. I don't know if he's somebody that wants to hold out, but like, I hadn't even thought of that, Dougie. But like, that may be the only one. It's kind of the only option.
That's the one that sticks out as it's the only guy in the top 10 without a matchup, I believe. And Dan Hooker.
Because you know RDA's saying yes, obviously, but
Yeah, RDA will fight anybody.
and well, obviously it's a fight up. He's fighting the top contender. No, one of the top contenders.
Yeah, no, it makes definite sense.
Yeah,
I
because
think.
that is the main reaction from the news. I'll give Surgeon. What are your thoughts?
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
But it is such a step down. Like would Gaethje, because that is kind of
is,
like this
eh?
Gaethje, like
Imagine you
he's up
gave.
a lot. Like
Imagine you gave
wanted
Hooker his
Gaethje
chance.
versus
Imagine you gave
Chandler
Hooker
so
his
bad.
chance. Imagine you give a little Hooker.
no, but Hooker, he
Gaethje.
just fought. He literally just got back to his family. Like
I know. Yeah, we could say that. We could say that. We could write that off a million times. But this is a guy who wants to get over something like that and to fight a
he
guy.
could. Would I rather
from
see
there,
that?
he'd
I'd rather
take
see
that
RDA,
fight.
To be honest, I'd rather see RDA.
And Justin Gaethje also said he doesn't like short notice fights, so he would want a full camp. He'd want full notice.
Because it's like a name though. If he hasn't beaten RDA, so why not?
I think that's got to be the fight to make if Justin Gaethje is going to fight in the next few
What's
months.
RDA ranked?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dougie.
8, I believe. Or actually, is it 6?
UFC's got to do some ranking witchcraft. Get RDA up to like 7 or 6. Who can we squeeze out?
Fuck, like it's,
Who are
it's
6 and 7?
I'm working
What,
on
in the
loading
lightweight?
that up right now.
in the lightweight.
Sorry, I'll let you pull it up.
Connor and RDA. What in lightweight? What are you talking about? Lightweight?
Yeah, lightweight.
Connor RDA.
Oh, I thought Dougie said RDA was 8.
Oh, RDA is at 7. Oh, yeah.
7.
Yeah,
Hooker's
I'm
at
wrong.
8.
Okay.
I think Hooker might be at 8 now.
Hooker's at 8.
And everybody else in the top 5 has a matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes okay. Let's do it.
Yeah. The only fight really to make is Justin Gaethje versus RDA.
Like it'll be a good fight. You can't tell me it won't be a good fight.
I mean, yeah. Other than that, the only guys not in the top 10 booked are Dan Hooker and Paul Felder. Paul Felder's way too far a step down, I think. And he's coming off the
way too.
Hooker
I'd be like
loss.
Paul Felder.
Or the RDA loss,
Definitely
even
on
now.
short notice to fight one of those guys.
Yeah, but Paul Felder just lost to RDA, so you can't really give
I'm honestly-
Paul Felder the high fight.
It's
But again,
insane.
at least maybe he's actually training for MMA this time.
Well, there'll be a there'll be a time here too, where I wouldn't even be surprised if we get a sweet old guy like Islam Makhachev, and they'll go, "Hey, Islam,
No,
Islam,
no.
you ready? Islam, you ready to go?"
For
He goes,
Gaethje?
Yeah.
Sounding like
He goes,
Daniel
stop.
Cormier over
Yeah.
here.
Stop.
He
Yeah,
goes,
like who are you
"Yeah."
fucking holding water for team Dagestan. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm not holding water for anybody.
What-
There's going to
what's
be a
he
point where
ranked?
they're going to
No,
push
that's
him.
ridiculous. That's not
11.
11 versus
No.
2.
That's disrespectful.
No, I mean, in a beautiful world, we've seen crazier shit with guys that the UFC likes. And guess what? He's gone now. He's gone now.
They already
RDA, though.
booked Islam versus RDA too. That's why I think they might do that again, overbooking RDA versus
I know.
Justin.
Oh, and then then he literally has no choice. And then it's like, what has Gaethje done to the UFC?
And there's nobody.
It's like what the hell? He got because as much as we'll get to it, but as much as I love Michael Chandler, it should be Justin Gaethje versus either Michael Chandler but I think it should be Justin Gaethje versus.
Well, it should be
Oliveira,
Dustin
just with the
Poirier,
loss.
but he chose the bag.
Yeah, that's what you do.
We
That's
know
the
what
life. Yeah,
happened with the
exactly.
real
We talked about
lightweight
that. That's what
crown.
happens, though, man.
Okay, yeah,
That's what
Dougie, you give your
happens.
thoughts on Oliveira versus Chandler.
Well,
and then
I have
we
a
can
thing
wrap it up.
written in here for a Michael Chandler futures bet because I think we should all jump on Michael Chandler while he's at plus 130 right now, odds wise. Because
I'm
we
hopping
saw
on.
him as a big underdog against
you're better.
Tucker really early. We saw that
Play the
swing.
intro.
I think it's going to go the exact same way. We'll see
We
you
don't
at the
even have
top.
to,
It's
but-
Michael Chandler. He's in the intro. I think we got to do a squad ride on Michael Chandler futures bet.
You don't even have to say it. You don't even have to verbalize it. It's like a.
That's
I
what I
think it's
said,
a great matchup for Michael Chandler to win the strap. It's like
It's
damn.
beautiful. I'll
It's like-
be
this is
so
what-
happy. I might cry on
This
live.
is what but this is
Oh,
why it
yeah.
always
Depends
pays
how
off
hammered
to
I am.
be the guy that's willing to take the fights and fight anybody. It's Michael Chandler. It's paying off. I love
might
it.
cry. It'd be awesome. I love Michael Chandler. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
and Charles Oliveira, I pegged him as a champion before the Kevin Lee fight.
Oh, he's fucking good.
I picked him.
Oh, that's a
So-
beautiful fight for a championship belt in my eyes. I think it
Man,
is.
That is,
It is,
an
though, but,
interesting matchup.
Like you can't be. People can get mad at it all they want.
He is because he
It's-
gave.
it's
We
the
often
way the
remember
UFC
Gaethje's
spins.
coming off a loss,
But and
So it
that's the
has to
way
be
that.
back. It's to the
and
champ.
And that's the way that UFC has it. They've got a guy like Conor McGregor who's allowed to call shots and say, "Man, let's run it again. You want to make another bag?" And he goes, "Yeah." It's like Floyd asking you to
Yeah,
fight.
ruins everything.
You fighting Floyd, or you gonna go fight for the belt? Fuck the belt. We're gonna go fight and make money. This is what we're here for. Not gonna be able to do this all the time. It's certain people mentality and stuff like that. Obviously, Poirier knowing at the same time, and I'm a Poirier supporter, knowing himself he can probably beat Conor again. He beats Conor again. He's still got another money fight for whoever wins in the Chandler and Oliveira fight, so he's good to go. You know what I mean? He's going to be there at some point challenging for that title. I know it. We all do, right? Or someone at least is. The winner of that, Poirier McGregor 3, that's going to be a fucking banger, but we will see. We will see.
No, you're totally right. Connor's ruined everything because it'd be so much. It would literally be if it wasn't for Connor, it'd be Poirier, Oliveira, Chandler versus Gaethje. No, sir. Yeah, and then it'd be so much easier. And then RDA versus Islam. But here comes fucking Mr. Automatic Rematch. Fucking God. Makes everything so much more difficult for the UFC.
Oh, it does a lot of shit. I mean,
But hey, you know what? It's like that's the way it is.
It
I ain't
muddies up the
surprised.
division, and it holds Justin Gaethje kind of hostage too in an even worse position because now even if he does fight RDA, he's at least 2 fights away from a title shot now because the next title shot's going to the winner of Poirier McGregor 3.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I think we can move down even lower in the weight divisions and move on. We got a couple of great bantamweight matchups announced this week.
Absolutely, we absolutely
With,
do. And it's kind of exciting. I mean, I'm juiced
It's like
up for
there's
it.
always this stuff we can talk about though. It's crazy.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's like
it makes
we
this
need
show
this-
so easy. It makes
Yeah,
this
it's
show
like
so
an
easy.
outlet. Like, it's
makes it-
constantly stuff that we can just go on and on and on about.
Makes it ridiculously easy. You could just, if you know your shit, we are constantly even talking behind the scenes, sending each other stuff, talking about what's going on and all the stuff that's getting announced, and it's super interesting, man. Like, I mean, we were kind of talking about it. We'll get into this one first because, I mean, we were kind of talking about it on the live because it got announced, either the day of last Saturday or the day before. We kind of talked
It
about
was
the Cody Garbrandt.
a little bit after our bet breakdown.
Okay, yeah, the Cody Garbrandt Rob Font
Right, it was
fight.
just
That's-
post. Yeah, it was just right after. It's like, oh my god, we should have just been live for another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But we saw a couple of great bantamweight fights announced. The first one that was announced was Cody Garbrandt, the former bantamweight champion, returning after his highlight knockout over Rafael Sunsao last year, versus Rob Font, who's coming off his knockout win over Marlon Moraes, up to rank number 3. 2 legit bantamweight contenders, 2 heavy hitters in a 5-round main event. Woof. That one's a banger. That one's a banger. And then we got the return of another former bantamweight king, arguably the greatest bantamweight of all time, TJ Dillashaw, taking on Mr. Highlight Corey Sandhagen, the Sandman, coming off his insane flying knee over Frankie Edgar in a matchup that is guaranteed to produce the next title shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited, man. I mean, they've set us a date now. Finally, I get to see, on May 8th, I get to see TJ Dillashaw come back and do his thing.
Yeah,
and I'm a
sorry,
huge
Doug. You
TJ
have to say,
guy.
when you say greatest bantamweight of all time, you have to at least put an asterisk on that.
I love TJ, but I love TJ though.
Greatest.
Oh, so do
TJ.
I. But he's a fucking cheater.
Yeah, you can't
Did
fucking
you see
do that
his?
shit and get away
He
with it.
made
You can't
a.
do that shit and get away with it.
What's his juice bar called now? Clean Juice or something?
I don't know what the
He owns a juice bar called Clean Juice or something.
No, you're fucking.
Let me Google this. I'm not.
No, it's a meme.
That's a fucking meme.
No, have you heard about this?
I've never heard about that, but I hope the reviews. I hope the reviews are outrageously low. I hope the MMA community is. I'm kidding. We're not gonna kill TJ's living. We love TJ. But
TJ Dillashaw owns.
You don't do that shit.
Or he works with a place called Clean Juice.
He
does work with a place called Clean Juice. I'll drop the link
move by their PR team.
Oh my god, they love their shit.
Clean Juice with a guy that's literally a straight cheater.
That's hilarious.
Wow. Like, why don't you just go straight to John Jones? Like, what the fuck? Go straight to the king.
Oh yeah. You could, honestly. You really could. Man, it's gonna be a great fight though. Like Jay, I'm excited for it. I think we're all excited for it. That's a fight that's gonna be fucking perfect.
And these are 2 guys who've trained together before. We've heard TJ back when he was a world champion say, "Oh, I got this up and comer, Corey Sandhagen, kicking my ass at practice." Nobody knew this would come about back then, but here we are, Corey Sandhagen, a chance to kick his ass under the lights.
Wait, sorry, they are not on the same card, right?
No. TJ versus, they're both main events. TJ versus Sandhagen is May 8th, and Font versus Garbrandt is May 22nd.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's both fight
so we
nights.
got a lot of bantamweight. Both fight nights.
Awesome.
Fight nights.
Bantamweight May.
I think the Garbrandt Font one, they're not headlining it though. That's the
I think it's
Prohodska.
headlining.
That's the Prohodska Reyes, no?
I thought that was the beginning of May. I thought that was May 1st.
Oh, is that the beginning of May?
That would be the main over that.
Is that the beginning of May? Let me see. I'm checking it now.
I think
if one's going to be the main event, it has to be Dillashaw.
Beginning of okay, yes, we got Till Vittori. Okay, obviously after the week break, which we're finally getting a little week break, but I mean, still gonna suck. We're gonna be looking for other stuff, and there will be other stuff on.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I gotta go to a thing. We'll kind of get on that later. You guys want to move to we can move to the next thing or whatever. Keep talking. I'm just gonna pull up the quick calendar for the UFC. I want to pull it up real quick. I don't have it already. Pulled up.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to throw out. I mean, we know where the winner of Sandhagen Dillashaw goes. Title shot. That's the winner of Yan versus Sterling 2. Whenever that comes about, but the winner of Garbrandt versus Font, there's still a fight away from a title shot probably. If the winner of that fight, what do you do with them? Do you give them the loser of Sandhagen Dillashaw? Because
I would say that, or the winner or the loser of the main event, of the
of the
title fight.
rematch.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah,
that's an interesting idea right there.
I think that would be more likely, Dan. That would be more likely because I don't think that you're gonna. I don't think we'll see we know that Garbrandt before this fight. I'm sure he didn't even like taking this fight when it was offered to him. He was looking for title fight. Remember what he was saying?
Flyweight title.
I'm title fight, or remember he was booked. Yeah. He's like, I mean, but he went on something. He went on food truck or whatever with Shaw, but he's like, I'm either title fight or I'll look down and I'll fight Aldo, whatever. He's like, but it really didn't look like he was like, I'll work my way back up and fight 2 more fights until I get to a title fight. But I could see him getting something cheeky after if he does win this fight. But
if he wins this fight, he could go back down to 125.
Does Aldo have a matchup right now?
Go down.
No, does he? He does, right?
Did they book Aldo against somebody? I forget because
I don't think so.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think they did yet.
I don't
think they
believe
did
so.
yet.
So,
I wouldn't be surprised. But here, I'll read out the little quick schedule.
so is the
though.
break? Is that on Easter weekend? The break?
Let me
Or
read
am
it
I
out
wrong?
for you. I'll read it out for you right now. So
I guess
obviously
it is,
March 27th, this upcoming weekend we have UFC 260, Miocic versus Ngannou 2. April 10th we have UFC on ABC 2, which means fucking right. Oh, that's the one that's in the middle of the day, isn't it? But that's a free all day for us. That's free all day for us on Fight Pass, and for anyone that does have Fight Pass, that's free. That'll be a good one to watch. Those are always smooth as balls when you get it.
Yeah, that'll be nice to have LJ around on his time too.
Yeah, we get LJ right around on his time too. It'll be perfect. I think that's an early one though, right? Like we were talking about that. You sent that, or we were talking about that behind the scenes a couple of weeks ago that was going to be announced for a little bit earlier. So
Yeah, we
that'll be
did.
nice. That'll be nice. I mean, then following that, we have UFC 261 on April 24th with Usman Masvidal 2. Then on May 1st to kick off May 1st. Oh, I was wrong. You were right, Doug. Reyes versus Prohaska, right on the 1st of May. UFC Fight Night. They're not even giving it a number, which is stupid. May 8th, they've got UFC on
Well,
ESPN
they're probably going to
23.
name it based on where it is, whether it's in Vegas or Florida or.
UFC on ESPN 23, Sandhagen versus Dillashaw, May 8th. UFC 262 on May 15th, Oliveira versus Chandler. And then on May 22nd, you've Font versus Garbrandt. And then on June 5th, UFC Fight Night 5. They do not have that announced. That is the last fight card announced. But it's no way it's going to be Marcin
Well, they just
Tybura
announced
versus-
July 10th, I think, wasn't it? Jennifer Maia versus Jessica Eyes booked on that card, and I think that's rumored to be the pay-per-view that's going to have Connor versus Poirier 3.
Got it. Okay. So we just got a real pot sticker of fucking fights coming at us. Hot. It's awesome.
UFC just keeps coming with these great main events, these great pay-per-views. You know, there's so many champions now in these great divisions. There's so many great fights for them. You know, you get 12 pay-per-views a year. They're doing 2 this month, so even more this year, hopefully. There's
crazy.
a lot more title fights than that. You see a lot of these stacked up cards, a lot of these just banger fights.
I mean, it's crazy. We're getting blessed as far as, you know, being fans of the sport. It's beautiful. I'm sure everyone else is. They're loving watching all these crazy fights. I mean, kind of one of the most recent things that's now been officially announced, you know, set into stone. We've been talking about it for months now, though. It's finally official. We've got, you know, Khabib Nurmagomedov finally making his official exit, or at least he, you know, official with Dana. Dana's let go, you know what I mean, of his property. And we're finally seeing the retirement of Khabib Nurmagomedov. So, I mean, salute to him. You know, I hope he has a good time with retirement and
It is
you know, starting a
officially
family.
tiramisu time, boys.
Yeah, exactly. And start a family, you know, coach, be this coach.
It's been tiramisu time.
Yeah, exactly. We've been talking
Like,
about it
come
for a
on,
while.
you just gotta look
Yeah.
at these. I love these photos. He's literally slowly just turning into his father. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Physically, like as far as role, it's
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were talking
and,
about it last week too, Jay.
We got Coach Khabib here. You're talking Luke Rockhold looking to make his comeback. He said somewhere around August, and he's got Khabib coaching him now.
Yeah.
Interesting strategy.
Yep.
How do you guys think Khabib stacks up as a coach so far? Are you guys as impressed with him as I've been as a cornerman?
I think that he's got a very good base coming from his father, Abdul Manap. I mean, that guy's, you know, a legend in his own right. I'm sure if he was in America, we'd be, you know, just as big as anyone over here. But in Russia and from where he's from, he's, you know, the cream of the crop as far as coaches go. Khabib comes from that, has been living with that. That's been ingrained into him through generations, through time, passed on. I mean, he's going to be one of these guys that if he truly does want to do it and he loves the sport the way he does and the way he's been showing it so far, and he loves for, you know, the success of his teammates, his fellow countrymen, the people around him to have success in you know, the fight game and with their wrestling and whatever they choose to pursue in the fight game, man, he's one of these guys that, you know, sky's the limit for him. Khabib, sky is the limit for him. Very smart, very well-rounded, has good morals, like a guy who's really, you know, said his time is done for the sport now and, you know, really resting on that fact that, you know, it's largely in part due to his mother and not wanting to put her through that. That's a very 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 good thing to do. That takes a lot stronger of a person than these guys on Instagram like Connor calling him out and calling him whatever the fuck he still wants to call him and shit like that. Takes a lot more of a man to do stuff like that and admit that. So I mean, for him, sky's the limit as a coach, as a person, as a businessman. He could start a fight promotion. He could partner with the UFC.
Already has.
Right? Like he already has. You know what I mean? Like, yes.
Or Eagle MMA or Eagle
UFC. It's Eagle FC. You're right.
We've talked about it before. He could do pretty much whatever he wants to within the realm of fighting and in life. I think that he's one of those. I think he's transformed. He's moved past being just a guy that's noticed as a UFC fighter. As far as maybe in Europe for sure, maybe other parts of the world maybe, but I'm sure he's very close. I mean, and even if he does fight again, maybe in a year and a half, I mean, that legacy is just it's crazy. And I know guys like John Jones hate on it a little bit, and he does have some good points there. What I call Khabib the GOAT. That's up
I don't think he really hates on him. He's just jealous.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's jealous definitely of a guy.
He doesn't have any knocks on the guy. He's just like, I'm better, which he is. He's the GOAT. But
of course, right? It's one of those things.
Let Khabib have his moment, which his moment I think is now over. Is he removed from pound for pound? He should be now. I think it's time.
He was. John Jones went back up to number 1. Usman's at 2. Stipe's at 3.
No.
Okay, so okay, all right, here we go. Sorry, who? Usman's 2, eh?
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. I like that.
There's a legitimate argument for Usman being number 1 right now.
No, it's John Jones.
No.
Because we haven't seen Jones in so long. We haven't seen Jones as a finisher. And we haven't seen.
I would have to say Stipe would be get the nudge over Usman too, but whatever. Inactivity
you have to have
the man
there, Dougie. Because you got to always think about the madness to the UFC. You have to have it there because what are you doing as soon as the fucking fight is over for on Saturday or Sunday morning? Rolling the promo for the baddest man or the GOAT. The powder pound GOAT or something like that.
I'm juiced.
That's what they want. If it
then they need to get Stipe up to number 2 right now.
That's what I mean. I think Stipe should be fucking over Kamaru,
because this fight puts Stipe to 2.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If he's already
okay,
it's like then what are you doing? But
true.
You got to think of the method of the madness. You got to
I already think they should
have.
I already think they should have done this first, anyways, before. But you know.
Oh yeah, we know. We all know. You've been saying this since the year-end special.
I should have said the other way around.
I mean, I base it off the fact that I think John lost the Reyes fight. I'm not going to trash his legacy for it or anything. I'm going to say he won the fight, but I'm saying I'm not saying it was a defense of a pound for pound number 1 champion.
Yeah, that's fine.
When I see a pound for pound number 1, I expect a good title defense. I don't expect you to lose the first 2 rounds undeniably, and you have to go, oh shit, to have that fire lit under your ass late in the fight.
No, that's fair, man. No, you got a point.
Yeah,
you got a point.
I'd say,
look, I have John Jones as the GOAT right now. I mean, I think there's other guys who have an argument, and I respect his legacy. I just think right now, based on his recent body of work, he's not as good as he was in his prime, and there's guys who are pound for pound better right now.
Agreed. It's interest. It's
okay,
going to be
obviously,
interesting.
But pound for pound doesn't actually mean like if it was actually a genuine pound for pound, like it'd be a completely different kind of thing.
I know. I'm not talking. That's the UFC pound for pound. I understand.
It'd be like I'm talking about Davidson Figueroa would be killing everybody. If you like somehow had
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Well, that's the whole point of pound for pound, right? They created pound for pound in boxing in
but it's just
shout out to my boy. Shout out to my man.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to my man Mark for giving me this one. They created pound for pound in boxing for the whole signature fact that all these heavyweights were always getting recognition. They wanted to give the smaller guys some recognition. So that's why they created a pound for pound list in which you would see guys of a heavier, bigger stature, obviously back in the day, selling more. People wanted to see the bigger guys fight, up along ranked with guys of smaller stature. You know what I mean?
It's just funny because the entire top of the pound for pound list is above like 170.
I know, you're right. You're not wrong. Doug, you're not wrong.
But that's the way it's shaped out after
Yeah.
Years
What
and
I'd say
years.
about John Jones is the reason he's number one, and the reason, like, obviously he's pissed about stopping being number one is same reason he didn't lose the Dominic Reyes fight is you gotta take it from the champ. You can't take off
That's
rounds.
kind of what I was saying.
Can't
yeah.
take off the gas. And until John Jones ain't breathing, he's the pound for pound GOAT because he's the youngest champion ever. And like, just because some of these recent fights, yeah, there's some of these arguments. There's these crazy motherfuckers coming up to fight him in light heavyweight, and he's finally realizing, what am I just sitting around here waiting for one of these guys to eventually beat me? I gotta make my run for heavyweight and cement my legacy, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, are these the fights that we're thinking about right now? Yes. Will we be thinking about them down the line? No, because these are kind of just like, these are the close ones, but it's the fact that we have to think about, these are the times he almost lost. It's not like he's not as dominant as Khabib, but
True.
when you do it, when you defend it, I think let's be honest, like I'm gonna get, maybe now that he's not pound for pound, I think now it's the past complete honor Khabib era.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things when you talk about Khabib. If I can, it's just MMA. I don't think at lightweight, if he tried to do it 11 more times, he could.
No.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think physically he could do it.
But we also
He was already. We know he was struggling like a motherfucker to cut that weight. That was one of the most impressive things about him at his size to be able to make that weight, even though despite the tiramisu moments with Tony.
Yep.
Because it was so.
We also know that in his prime, though,
sport.
John Jones was tested. Khabib was never tested in his prime. It was never even close. So you have to question if you're talking about GOAT, are you talking about their entire legacy, or are you talking who at their peak was the best ever?
Wait, sorry. You're saying Khabib was never tested?
I'm saying when you look at John Jones's prime, you see there's great fights, there's wars that he won, but he was pushed. You never saw Khabib pushed. So when you ask about the GOAT, do you look at the whole legacy with John Jones, all the title defenses, and say this man did it for so long, so he's the greatest? Or do you look at who had the more dominant peak and was untouched and Khabib and say, okay, at his peak, he was this dominant, so he was the greatest?
I hear what Doug's saying.
It's legacy over one moment who was the best.
Okay, but I'll counter you this though. When you're fighting, like at the time, the people that he had to fight in order to win the title and then defend the title,
Legends.
I think you could put that up against Khabib's competition easily. I think you could definitely. Sorry, what was
no, I'm not saying the competition was better.
not
I'm
really
saying
saying
the
that,
fights, the competition.
But you're saying
fight.
the peak. But I'm saying John Jones, he hasn't lost yet, so like the peak is still technically like he was able to have those crazy finishes in the before. We're still seeing it's hardly even to saying like
okay, but we can't pretend the John Jones of now is the John Jones of 2012. We can say, yeah, he still hasn't lost. He's still a champion. He's still an upper echelon fighter, 100%. He's still the best. He was still the best in his division. He might still be the best in
John
heavyweight.
Jones versus prime Khabib. If you're saying that's like prime John Jones is what like him making his initial run in a couple defenses. I'd probably go John Jones. I'll go John Jones.
It's close. I hear what you're saying though, Doug. It's a very good argument and a very good point, and it's a very, very, very good point because it makes you think
as far
about
as dominance.
I'm saying there's my thing is there's
no.
no definitive GOAT. I would probably say it's John Jones.
Yeah,
because of
I would probably
the
agree
legacy,
with you.
the definitiveness of his legacy.
Yeah, and
I don't think you can define really a true GOAT. I think you
what
can
in
guess.
general, or you mean right now?
Ever. I think you can guess.
Okay, yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, for
clear.
sure. There's that edge of it too. There's that.
So
edge
I mean,
of it too.
I'll listen to anybody's argument. I'll listen to someone making Jose Aldo's GOAT argument. I'll hear it all.
Of course.
I think it's completely objective.
Of course. I hear what you're saying.
But I do think John Jones probably has the strongest argument when you look at it from most angles.
That's a good point. Okay,
And that's
I
when
like
you look
that
at
though.
the fact that one won their title against Ally Akenta and the other one beat Shogun Hua. But we'll move on.
I was arguing for John Jones there.
No, I know, but I'm just like the prime thing is just hard because like
It's
there
so
is things
hard.
to talk about Khabib like it's like John, it's like
And then you start talking about pro career. I mean, it's a fucking long scape. We'll talk about it probably at the end of the year. It'll probably be
talk about it. It's one of those.
It'll be an
things,
end of year conversation because we'll have seen probably John fight by then at heavyweight, and
we
we'll
haven't
have
seen
kind of
John in so long.
right. We'll have seen John fight at heavyweight by the end of the year, and we'll have seen the official kind of Khabib exit. It'll be done, right?
Just
We'll
to make
have
it clear,
seen.
Khabib's number 3 on my GOAT list.
GSP's too, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Okay, so where are we rolling from here? We've talked about, Khabib 2021. He's talking about trying to be coach of the year. We've said that all good things about him being
this
a coach.
of the year thing is just a name thing. I think
Of course,
realistically,
that's craziness.
Trevor Whitman is dominating the coach of the year argument right now.
Oh,
Probably so
2021,
far.
there's no way
if,
Khabib's
yeah,
coach
if
of the year.
Usman wins again, if Rose wins again, no question.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we're gonna see Usman's got fighter of the year if he fights against Jorge, and then maybe Colby at the end of the year. If he wins both those, I think we could see Usman as fighter of the year. That's my early prediction.
Leon, maybe Leon.
Or Leon, yeah, one of those two. If Colby gets off his ass and actually fights Leon, that would be a great fight, and it would make a lot of sense.
That would be fucking potatoes. That'd be
You
great.
think we see that at long last now after that? I don't know.
I don't think we ever see it because I think Colby sits on his ass until he gets
Colby's
a good
gonna
matchup.
Wait. He'll wait. He'll
like
wait.
a crazy man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's gonna wait around. He's got to wait around. Wait, when can Trump run again? 2024.
2024. He's got a couple years to wait.
That'll be his run. That'll be his big run. That'll be sleep, preserve himself. He'll be like,
Him and Trump are going into cryo sleep.
Yeah, he's been he's been sitting in a room trying to think of a new gag for the last few months. He hasn't figured it out yet.
I said him and Trump are going into cryo sleep pods together. And they're gonna go back into the pods. You know what I mean? Mr. Trump! Mr. Trump!
like, yeah, buddy, we'll put you on ice. Don't worry. Okay, let's move on.
That's some shit that he would be saying though. But I mean,
But if Islam does some crazy shit, Rockall,
don't give Islam.
I think we see some people be like, yeah, we'll award it to Khabib, but yeah, like he won't actually probably.
No, I don't think
the
he'll
true
take
essence
any,
of the word, because like he's not people's like at the end of the day, he's not their head coach. There's still those head coach guys at AKA because Khabib's still there, but he's there. He's obviously coaching them how to be
Javier Mendez.
Yeah, in many ways. But he's also there rolling with the guys. He's there actually still sparring and shit. Like he's teaching them in those ways. So yeah, it's difficult to give him the more, but I can almost guarantee you somebody's gonna be thrown at him at the end of the year.
Dan's got a good point there. There'll be some kind of award thrown at him by the end of the year. Dan's right. Dan is right.
I think we should probably clean up talking about the UFC matchmaking here, and then we can get into the other organization news.
Oh, absolutely.
We have Reyes versus Prohaska, which we briefly mentioned beforehand. That's booked for May 1st.
That's really good. I like that fight.
Fantastic kickboxing matchup right there.
Go. Yeah,
it's a good one for Reyes to hopefully get back in the win column.
That got pulled right? Like that was already supposed
to be in March.
Yeah,
but something I don't think it was ever officially booked.
But that's
and we also saw Ryan Hall get booked again.
Yep. I didn't even. Yep. That's going to be a good fight too.
I don't know if it happens. It's all the way on July 10th.
I think he'll make that fight. I think he'll get that.
So
fight.
far away.
That's
so far away. It's so far away. It's definitely not the guy that he wanted. Obviously, he would have wanted 50K, but at the same time, you get what you get. And you can take what you're going to take.
But I want to see the Wizard back in the octagon so bad.
Yeah, and then there's the Wizard's one of those guys that I think a lot of us love fighting. A lot of purists love to watch fight because he's very, very technical on the ground. He had a very, very very weird, different Ultimate Fighter run. He was one of those very different guys. He's an interesting guy. You could just tell it from the beginning. I mean, and it's going to be one of these guys we continue to watch throughout his career because he is so exciting and just different. The UFC also
closing. He's old.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely not going. Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those things where he's got to press it, going to have a year of something quick, and then be able to line up consecutive fights. A guy like Ryan Hall, though, it's not easy to find fights, right? You're not getting
Nobody
a lot
wants
of people.
To fight him. Nobody.
Yeah, you're not getting a lot of people.
Because one of those leg locks will end your career,
right? You're not getting
a lot of
guys.
You just don't want to get beat by that guy. It's just not.
Yeah, you don't.
He's just one of those guys. He's like got beat by that guy, and like it's like somebody's won't be a fight fan, don't know who Ryan is, like. That guy just beat you? They're like, what? He's like, but like, yeah, it's not even just the leg locks, dude. Like the way he's integrated into like this weird karate style, like, yeah, it's such a great. It's It's one of my favorite fighters to watch, and it's such a shame it's been so long since we've seen him. So, yeah.
I mean,
hopefully we see him on July 10th.
Exactly, and we've also kind of, we hope to see him kind of further his career as quickly as possible. How old is he now, Doug? 36?
I think he's 36, 37.
But he hasn't. But it's like he's like one of those guys. I'm not gonna. I'll talk again about Leonardo. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about Leonardo.
But he hasn't taken a lot of damage.
But he hasn't taken a lot of damage. But like, you gotta finish my hand. I'm not even gonna talk about him. Sorry.
Here, real quick though, we have had a couple cuts recently in the UFC. We haven't had any lately. These are kind of the last kind of.
We haven't really touched on them though. I don't think they've been touched on by us.
Oh yeah, these ones no, have not been touched on by us, and we have not talked about them as a group yet. I mean, there's nothing really too crazy. There's started off Alexander Albu, 3-2 in MMA, 1-2 in the UFC. Cut Ali Casey, 8, which is a name we all do know, 8-5 in MMA, 0-2 in the UFC. Cut Cyril Askar, 9-4 in MMA, 2-3 in the UFC. Cut Alex Chambers, 5-5 in MMA, 1-4 in the UFC. Cut Chris De La Rocha, 5-3 in MMA, 1-3 in the UFC. Cut Ciro Kondo, 6-3 in the UFC, 1-3 in MMA. Cut Bojan Mihalovic, 10-6 in MMA, 0-3 in the UFC. Cut Suman Mkhitaryan, 8-2 in MMA, 0-2 in the UFC. Cut, and then Dmitry Solznovsky, 11-0 in MMA, 1-0 in the UFC. Cut. That's kind of a weird one ended off. You're like, oh,
what?
God, it's 11-0.
Yeah, what happened?
Weird,
what happened there?
What happened to that guy? Oh, well, that guy was recently figured out to be part of, kind of Russian extortion and kidnapping scheme back in 2019. UFC's like, we're out. You know what I mean? UFC's like, we're out, man. Sorry, brother. We're out of here. So that's kind of a crazy one that popped out of nowhere as of recently. And that came about in the last couple of weeks that he got recently tied back to that, which occurred in 2019. So the UFC let him go. Yeah, that's
wild.
Yeah, other than that one, I don't know, like.
Other than that one,
I couldn't pick any of those names out of a lineup. You're telling me to try and pick out people that are actually fighting in the UFC. Give me just a list of generated names. I don't think I can pick those people.
Cyril Askar, Ali Casey, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
but
Chris,
those are
maybe,
things
maybe Chris De La Roca too.
Those are literally two different combos of types of names that you could just put in a MMA name generator and pop that kind of shit out.
Oh yeah, just like Askar.
Cyril Askar. Okay, yeah.
Askar. The man's so nice they named him twice. You know what I mean? That guy's a legend. No, they're not cutting him.
We did see amongst all the cuts a confirmed return of a unconfirmed retirement with the return of Khamzat Chimaev.
Oh, yes.
Him announcing that he's coming back, him planning a July return. No, he posted a thing saying he's coming back.
Well, yeah, but it's it's all these things. Let me see, show me the contract. Let me see the actual fight sign. I
think we'll see him back in July. I think he's talking a lot about the Neil Magny fight. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's an interesting fight. It's a guy who's been around more than almost anybody in the welterweight division versus someone who's brand new to the welterweight division. It's an interesting clash.
Look at Dan. You just, kind of a fuck.
What?
Right? Because we just saw Chisea hold him down,
I'm sure he
right?
wants that fight now. I'm sure
watching Chisea roll through him
right now.
And then he can fight Chisea next, right? And then he can move right up, right? It's beautiful for him.
No, but even it's just such a clear method, road to victory for Khamzat.
Yeah. Agreed.
He'll finish Magny.
But do you give him? You can't give him Leon Edwards now, can you? No, Leon's not going to take that fight now.
No. I think
Who are you giving him other than Neil Magny?
You work your way all the way
over and over. And Dana...
Maybe he does. No. Maybe.
Why?
Maybe. We could see it.
No.
I don't see Leon taking that fight again.
We don't need to see that. We don't need to fucking see that.
But if Colby won't fight him, I guess we'll see Magny. I guess
he should fight Wonderboy. Fight someone in the contender.
Wonderboy's not healthy, though. Wonderboy's healthy, is he?
And we're back to the whole thing.
You're saying it's a mismatch, but someone who's unranked versus one of the most experienced welterweights of all time. It might look bad when you look at it that way, but it's a fight that it makes sense, and it's a good stepping stone for Khamzat. It's a good legacy fight to get his name out there.
Imagine you let
easy to promote.
You let the young you let Bilal take on Khamzat. Imagine that.
Why not?
Imagine that. Why not? Why
Bilal
not?
would take it. Bilal would take it.
That's what I mean. He'll take that fucking fight.
Yeah.
That's more acceptable being an unranked guy taking on a ranked guy at 13 than a guy at ranked
No,
taking
but I think
a guy in
he's willing
single
to tango
digits.
with Neil Magny, and I think Magny will take that fight. Yeah, that'll get booked.
Still give them that fight. Of
And
course
then they might
will.
book maybe they'll
Give
book
him-
Bilal for
Give him hands of steel. Give him fucking hands of steel. How about that? Give him fucking hands of steel. Don't give him anyone single digit. Single digit pisses me off when they'll bump him up to single digit from an unranked. Give him some
but if
double
we're
digit.
thinking in the mind of the UFC, like that's just what they're gonna do.
What's going on, Mark? Good to see you.
what's up?
How you're actually up at this hour is beyond me. You're like a vampire.
Shut up, Mark. What's going
Like a
on?
vampire, man. Appreciate you, man.
Of course.
But yeah, like it's kind of a crazy thing to see. Like give him someone that's double digit rank, because I think single digit we're stepping on way too much here. We're like it's too much to bite off. Like I don't like that. Like I think he had his chance to make the single digit run. It kind of fell through. The UFC tried to line it up. They tried to push it multiple times in the fight against Leon Edwards. Didn't happen. You know what I mean? You got to roll the boat. You got to keep going. Now you've had to pull out. So now guess what? You're going to have to work your way up naturally. Will the UFC attest to that and, be in tune to that philosophy? Fuck no. They'll try and, do it kind of slowly or do it kind of abruptly like they wanted to do it before with the Leon fight. But we will see where he does go from there. We will see.
Yo,
We'll
shout
see.
out to Genie popping in.
MMA Genie, what's up?
Genie?
I've been loving the
Appreciate it,
content recently, brother. I've been watching the vids, especially
we were
I was
talking
checking
about
out
it,
the one with Dan Levy was really good. I was watching it.
We were talking about it, man.
Watching it earlier. Good. Everybody go. Make sure you check that out. Check out
Absolutely.
Dan Levy, Half the Battle. All guys doing great stuff. But yeah, go subscribe to the Genie.
Yep, and I just saw you on Vlad's show too earlier today, man. Good stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, keep it up, man.
For sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anything else we're kind of gonna cook over here in this, and I think it's probably now leaving the UFC promotion.
I think we've cleaned up.
Cleaned up on the UFC for now.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That was a nice little. Yeah, we were. Well, it's like it was a nice little. I got pretty much hour and a half, but we
it's
could go.
beautiful.
Obviously, this is pretty much us containing ourselves. People, we could go on for.
Well, we can
Hours
still we've still got some other news too. The big news coming out of one lately was
Massive
Gordon Ryan
news.
signing not only for submission grappling but mixed martial arts competition as well. So we'll get to see Gordon Ryan, one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners on the planet, get to compete in MMA in one of the top organizations in the world.
Yeah, definitely argument for saying he's the pound for pound best jiu-jitsu practitioner on the planet.
Although we have seen him lose. We saw him lose the back to back.
Yeah, but we've seen
Yeah.
but
back to backs though, Dan. Back to backs.
Who of the top haven't we've seen? Obviously, Mason Fowler lose. Sorry,
But Mason Fowler lost before he beat Gordon Ryan twice.
I know,
right?
but I'm saying he lost. As I'm saying, he had lost,
Oh yeah,
but then also he just beat Gordon Ryan, who's
absolutely.
also considered up the top there. So just because
Yeah.
somebody loses doesn't mean they're not
Yeah.
up there.
It's
but
more
yeah,
common to have a fair
massive
amount of
signing
losses
for one
in
FC. Like
jiu-jitsu.
I cannot wait. And when you say MMA, well, MMA finally. Oh, yeah. I'm tuning in. I don't care what time I have to wake up.
Oh yeah.
They're probably going to do it with because isn't it one in TNT? Is that who their deal was with him?
Yeah.
When they're going to have maybe some fights that are actually more centered for the North American crowd. I think is the Demetrius one on that included in that or no?
No, man, the Demetrius fight we've been talking about it. That's going to be early A fucking F. I mean, who's going to be getting up with us for that? I will be up. And
I will
rolling.
definitely be. You can guarantee it.
It'll be like
I'll-
7, 8. It'll be like 6 a.m. We'll be up for that and probably live, clicking the live button because.
Well, yeah, I know Demetrius.
No,
fight
you
will
won't even
probably
be there,
closer
Dan.
to,
It'll be.
9. No, I'll
You'll
probably
be
there.
working. You'll be working unless you're working from home.
Yeah, but I can. Oh, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I don't start. I'll be
Yeah,
we'll be
that's
wrapping
true.
up right when I'm starting.
Probably.
Work.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
So
You're
good.
absolutely
You
right.
can guarantee. I'll say, I'm taking a little morning off, taking a personal morning off.
Yeah. No,
Watching Alvarez and Demetrius.
Oh yeah, fucking. That's on April 11th, right? So that's fucking. That's
coming
soon.
up.
Yeah, that's April 11th, man. That's gonna be. I think it's April 11th at least. I mean, from,
Wow.
in my memory back
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 Pat,
when.
I may
What?
be. I might. Is that on a weekend?
It's on a Wednesday, I thought.
Is it the 11th? Do you have that date right?
I'm probably wrong on the date.
Okay, we need to confirm this. I'd like to figure out the. Yeah, we got to figure out this date.
The 11th is a Sunday, so let me figure this out.
So it's not the 11th then. So it's a different date. It's probably the 13th or the 14th, or some shit like that. Or maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm off a whole month. Maybe it's not even in April.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in April.
I thought it was in April.
No, it's in April, I believe.
7th of April. It's the week. It's the week before the 11th. Maybe then.
Go to Tapology. It is for the 7th.
7th.
Versus
okay.
Adriano Moraes, who's a very good Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner himself.
Is that in the morning though? It is in the morning, like 6 a.m. Right? Like 6 a.m.
It's on the Wednesday. Pat, you know what? I'll probably be doing it. I'm
What?
pretty much I'm taking a vacation that week. I'll be probably.
Beauty.
We watch it. We might watch it together. We'll see.
Nice. That would sound good. That'd be a good time. Man, as far as that goes, we saw Gordon Ryan recently get into a little bit of a backstage argument, a little backstage slap fest recently. So, I mean, we're looking to see him actually throw some hands. Finally, that's always a good thing. Kenny Florian joining the PFL broadcast team. Good job for K-Flow. I mean, this is... I'm really happy for K-Flow getting a job to, not only continue his commentating career. I mean, I've been a guy who's watched K-Flow commentate on BattleBots before, so and I don't know if he's gonna still continue to do that, but I mean, he's been recently doing that, so we'll see if he continues on that or if he, forgoes that for the new PFL contract. But good for him. Good, continuing on. Definitely on something he's good at. His podcast is always very good, very informative. I like him when he's, a little bit more chill as well too. He's a very fun guy to listen to. Very fun guy to listen to. Other than that, I mean, any other kind of stuff you guys want to roll on, or I think
yeah, I kind of have a question for you guys. Like, obviously, that's a nice little name to the broadcast team with a beautiful voice to listen to in PFL fights. Kind of leads me into thinking, like, PFL's been making moves. Like, how long do you guys think it's really going to be? And I appreciate a lot of input from everybody in the watching, everybody in the chat. How long till PFL eclipses Bellator, as far as the UFC's lead competitor in the North America?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think that actually that Bellator's plan for this year is very good. I know there's been a lot of inactivity in Bellator, kind of not getting an early start on things, kind of leaving everybody hanging in the dust a little bit as far as what fights we're going to see and when. But now we realize, you guys were signing a contract with Showtime to get, fights put on. Now they're kind of, on a different philosophy where they're going to say, well, fuck the Saturday market, because Showtime's always doing their boxing on Saturday. We'll do our fights on Friday. We'll do a fight card at least one a month on a Friday, which I love because I'll totally be into that, right? That opens everything up, right? Watching Bellator on a
easily
Friday.
can compete with like LFA and all the smaller ones.
For sure. You'll kill other cards if you're rolling Bellator on Showtime on Friday.
I've been yelling at Scott Coker forever. Why are you putting fights on these days that people are not going to be like Thursday? Was it Thursdays, right? Or was it Wednesdays?
Yeah, he had some on Thursdays.
I don't know. He had Thursdays,
like Thursdays competing with the Thursday for like Thursday Night Football. Like what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I think the PFL will pass them. I think within the next 2 years, I think the PFL has done a great job at acquiring talent. I think they've been super aggressive at finding hot prospects. I really like their tournament style. I think they have the ESPN deal too, if I'm not mistaken. Their $1 million tournaments are always good to watch. They always have good prospects. Whoever wins that tournament is a legit champion in MMA at any division. I mean, Bellator is a legit company and they have their prospects as well. I don't think it's going to be as deep and talent stacked as a place like PFL, because I think PFL is going to become the place for those UFC names, because they're starting to see that Bellator might not be the best place for retired UFC fighters to go after the way it's gone for recent legends transitioning over there.
Yeah, and obviously, it's like, and always there's, at the end of the day, it's always good to have more competition. I'm not saying that Bellator is necessarily going to like fade into relevancy. It's always good to have more competition, more options for fighters. But yeah, I just think as somebody like a person that's constantly looking at stuff around MMA, I kind of like the stuff that the way PFL is going about stuff a little bit better. They're signing a bunch of huge people, like they have a bunch of momentum, like getting names, like having like when you think about like the women's fighters, you could make the argument that outside of Amanda Nunes, they have some of the biggest names in women's MMA with somebody that hasn't even fought in women's MMA with Clarissa Shields, and obviously Kayla Harrison, who's already been absolutely dominating.
Two of the biggest names in the women's
picks.
MMA market for sure.
Yeah. But that aside, but getting guys like Rory McDonald, getting like guys like Fabricio Verdum, guys that not guys that not these like and I wouldn't say they're getting the same kind of image like they're UFC kind of like rejects or anything like that. Yeah, Anthony Pettis, we have fighting recently, exactly. Dougie's fighting in 30 days from now, I think. Maybe something like that.
Yeah, mid-April. Right
all these guys who are like, there's a different. It's a different vibe. I feel it's a different vibe when the way they're going about it. I like which the PFL. It's better. Bellator's a shit name. Like I don't know.
It feels to me like they're trying to create a more competitive atmosphere than Bellator is. With Bellator, often you see these can crushers like MVP, like Dylan Dennis is going to be one whenever he comes back. With the PFL, I feel like they're putting these prospects in challenging tournaments and challenging fights with legitimate MMA fighters who are going to make them work and give us a good idea of where these guys stand.
Yeah, but even if they don't necessarily, even if on paper these fights are maybe just as competitive as some Bellator fights, I think just having like people like shit that's new and shiny. Oh, $1 million, like it's a different vibe. Like people, like I don't think anybody had necessarily like I don't know. Obviously, everybody can speak for themselves, but I don't necessarily like a cling to Bellator. Be like, I'll watch the good fights that they put on, but like I have no commitment to like the organization. Obviously, nowhere near like UFC is obviously a different level, but
I hear.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's not like I don't have like I don't really have a desire to watch Bellator necessarily because of the name or the organization itself. PFL, they're on their way there. So I don't think it's exactly destined to be. And obviously, I think we'll wait till maybe Genie's back to address his comment. But Bellator. Definitely not saying Bellator doesn't have good stuff to offer because they definitely do.
Very close. I think it's very close. I think you could argue all day about whose division's better or what's what, but I think that Bellator, PFL, definitely league wise, especially in this last year, are they going to eclipse them in the next year? Probably not. Is it going to take them
not a year? Not a year.
I think 2 years.
A couple more years, and maybe some promotional tools, some other things.
That's like 2023.
Some more guys brought in.
Probably be bigger. If you have Clarissa Shields fighting, by the end of this year,
it's huge. It's huge.
Massive.
It's massive. Will you have her fighting by the end of this year? I don't know. It's a good question.
Some dumb, think?
But it's a good question. Is where she's gonna go as far as with keeping.
She just boxed somebody, right? She just fought
on that all women's card, right? And that kind of gets me thinking: how many of those does she want to keep promoting and headlining of those, and putting on those, or even maybe try and take that whole structure and maybe do like, have we seen it in PFL yet? We've seen it in one now so far. We've seen all women's cards being set now. You know what I mean? Full women's cards being set.
We could see that from PFL.
Could see it from PFL. Her lead, maybe the charge on that. I think that'd be a good thing.
Oh, but you can bet your ass I'll be tuning into a fight card that includes her and Kayla Harrison.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Absolutely.
I don't care who else is on. I'll watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's undeniable. It's going to definitely be one of those. It's exciting. It's going to be exciting to see her fight, and especially see her hopefully come to fruition and all that kind of shit like that. It's gonna be dope. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what she's able to kind of come up with. If she's gonna leave boxing behind. I know she wants to pursue two of them at the both sports at the exact same time. Is that going to be possible? I don't know. I would think no, on the more side towards no. She might have to take some time off of boxing and really she's had her fight now at the beginning of the year, and then more so towards this latter half of the year, look towards getting in that first.
Sorry, Pat.
Fight.
Maybe I just don't know, but like, is the chick that she just fought recently, like, there wasn't a chance in hell she's losing that fight, right?
No,
like not in any like she probably wasn't training for it like in boxing. You know what I mean? She was probably maybe she's like she's still been obviously doing her MMA training, but just like she's in shape and she just fought her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I agree. She's like, if you're going to take MMA seriously, you got to focus on it. Like, that is time. You are going and doing that whole event and doing that promotion. Like, just because maybe you're not eminently fighting somebody who's really going to challenge you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're serious about fighting somebody like Amanda Nunes, eventually you got a lot of ground to cover. So.
Oh yeah, she's young too.
For sure.
She's young too. So sky's the limit.
But Amanda Nunes isn't going to be around forever. So
that's true. I mean, I necessarily don't see like it's going to be at least 3 years till obviously
L-Dog.
we even
Oh, I
see what's
love
going
it.
on, L-Dog. Stipe,
Bringing the energy. We haven't talked about Stipe in a while. Stipe. Oh my God,
Yeah.
let's go. I love it. Big vibes.
But yeah, like it's fucking.
OH.
Oh yeah, we're all over the Stipe train, man. You know, we were talking about it. Me and L-Dog were talking about it a couple weeks ago at the end of the.
And I could be wrong, but I
259.
think the genie is also on Stipe.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of Stipe love going around right now over here, which is good. There
If
always
you're a
should
fight
be.
guy, you like Stipe. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Stipe is the number one
Exactly.
fight guy. Yeah, he may be like pretty much the epitome of a fight guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Anything else that we're looking to touch on real quick? Anything else?
I think we could end off just addressing the Genie's comment there, saying Bellator has a better light heavyweight division than the UFC. I think that's an interesting comment. I think it's bold. I don't know.
It
if
is
I
hot.
agree
It's a
with
hot
that.
take for sure. It's a hot take for sure. That's why he's definitely got it in
A
there.
better division? Probably not. But do they have a better? Do they have more momentum and a more appealing product in the near future? Yes.
That's
That
good. way of
tournament,
putting it.
that light
Am I more
heavyweight
interested?
tournament.
At the end of the day, would I watch any leg of that tournament over a Jan Blachowicz title defense? Absolutely not. But am I going to watch every single one of those events? Yes.
Well, I mean, the biggest fight in the light heavyweight division right now, you're talking, are you watching Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira or Yoel Romero versus Rumble?
Glover versus Jan.
For
If
the
it's like the same-
stakes,
if they're on the-
probably
if they're on the
yes,
same-
but
if they're on
just
the
to
same-
watch
if they're on
a
You're
fight,
saying they're on the same time, and one I have to get to watch live, the other one I watch immediately afterwards.
if you could only, I
But
mean,
it's
it doesn't
spoiled
really
for-
matter.
but yeah,
It's an
you don't
irrelevant
know.
question. But
Shit, but the other one's spoiled
I mean,
for you, maybe?
they're both great fights.
It's good.
Definitely Jan. It's because it's
I mean,
UFC. UFC.
Yeah,
always,
I think you probably have to go
I'll
with
watch
the
it later.
UFC just because
I'll watch
the
that one
higher
later.
stakes,
I'll watch that
and
on
we'd
replay.
probably be live for UFC anyways.
Oh, of course. I mean, if there's
we're always live
ever
on
if there's
Saturdays.
ever a night, there's
Maybe
ever a
we'd
goddamn night.
simulcast it. It'd be a simulcast.
Oh
Like a-
yeah, if there's ever a night where Bellator's going and UFC's going, someone's gonna take the Bellator and someone's taking the UFC, and you
Yeah.
gotta go intermittently. Or one fight we either know what fight we're not gonna yell as much over, and you let the other guy take the reins on whatever fight he's taking, and then you can yell if there's a knockout or something crazy. But
No, but we
fuck,
literally just have it
man.
linked. Like Dougie's calling one fight, you're calling one fight.
Yeah.
Literally, that's just what you're paying attention. It was literally like, obviously, I don't know if anybody. I guess that Jay Blues would be the only one that was there for the infamous night where the surgeon and Myron Magnus
Oh, we've done that multiple times.
were
It still exists.
we're co-calling the cards with the UFC and boxing going at the same time. I would call it beautiful chaos.
And Myron was ruling that shit perfectly. I would love to see.
I do understand the comment from the Genie, though. I do.
Yeah, I do
understand
too.
the
I do
appeal.
too. I like it. I like the comment.
Oh,
too.
I'm
It is
super
a hot
excited
take.
for that.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
especially when you say I didn't know exactly what you were gonna say, but then you said the words Rumble versus Romero. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, it's definitely.
It
hard,
might
but
not be
yeah.
enough to draw you away from a UFC title fight, but it's close.
It
It's
is
closer than a
close.
Bellator fight ever should be.
If
It
it was
is
I'd
close.
probably watch that over a UFC fight night main event. Other than some, there's I would not watch that over Dillashaw versus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
I think we can all hope that Stipe snatches that belt off Dirty Dana again. That'd be great.
Because
Gets his
especially like
coach to put it on him. You gotta love when he does that.
which fight's more likely to just be a decision snooze fest?
Yeah, no, it's
Probably.
You're right.
Rumble.
because we haven't seen Rumble and we've seen Romero's tentative before, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a
No,
banger
yeah,
fight. I think they're
I don't know,
both
but I'm just
going
saying
to be.
with the
banger,
potential.
man.
We don't have to
the
worry
potential.
about either of them. They're going to be.
Yeah,
Worst
I'm
case-
not
worst
really
case
worried
fights.
about that one.
I'm just saying one has a way bigger worst case scenario. Kind of.
Yeah, you're
Overall,
right.
though, we've got a lot of amazing fights coming up. We covered a bunch of great bantamweight ones, some lightweight ones, the heavyweight one this weekend. We got Sugar Sean
Absolutely.
O'Malley fighting this weekend. We didn't even touch on it. I forgot that's my guy.
Oh,
But we
yeah.
touched on that on the breakdown on Thursday at
Yep.
9 p.m. And we'll
Yep.
be live for the whole card on Saturday.
Yeah.
We're Fight Guys. This is Fight Guys podcast, episode 1. Thanks for coming out.
Absolutely.
Do you guys want to talk about anything else?
No, that's beautiful, Doug. That's
Not
thank you.
much.
Thank you everyone for coming
Fight
out.
guys.
Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Every
Fight
Tuesday at
guys.
9. Fight guys.
Every Tuesday at 9. If you're a fight guy, you want to be there. All
Yeah.
fight things.
Absolutely. We appreciate everybody. Thank you for showing
Simple as
up.
simple.
Thank
If
you
you
for
like
showing
fights, tune in. Fight night. Fight guys.
Place-
out. Fight guys.
Fight guys.
Thanks everybody.